Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Chewing the Fat. This is a guest episode where I have a chat with some past clients about their experience, or current clients about where they're up to now in the protocol, in the hope that something they offer resonates with you and has you get that little kickstart you need to get past whatever's holding you back to actually sort your health once and for all. So today I'm really excited because I have one of my personal coachees. Lisa, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Just finished the protocol, just finished phase 4. On the initial part of the protocol, Lisa lost 10 kilos in 9 weeks, was it?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, almost 9 weeks. And we had a great call to finish the actual protocol up. And after listening to everything Lisa said, I thought, this is going to resonate with people. This is what the protocol is all about. It's exactly the design of the protocol, and we want to happen over that time. So I just had to get Lisa on the call. So thanks for making that work. I know you've got a lot going on personal life at the moment.
Yeah, I've also got a very annoying dog who won't leave me alone.
That's fine. I'm sure people will watch this just for the dog.
Hey,
They can look at you and the dog's better than mine.
there you go. The funny thing is, Trevor, even the dog's lost weight because. So there you go.
Oh, the ripple effect of the Simplr Health
That's
Protocol.
right.
Awesome. All right, so I suppose just the best place to start is, how'd you find Simplr Health to start with, and what were you dealing with leading into joining, and what were the
Sure.
barriers you had to overcome? And I think we're just about to get into that, where we're chatting pre-recording and said, hey, wait, let's share that on the video.
I mean, I actually found Simplr just through a friend,
that Emma,
whose daughter.
family?
Pardon?
Is that through
Pardon?
Emma?
Well, actually, through her mum, and
Right.
I knew that Emma worked for a health agency of some sort. And then I was complaining to her mum because we're always comparing, our muffin tops and other assorted pieces. And I just said, look, I'm sick of it. I've tried pretty much everything, and I've never been what any person would call obese. Just good old middle-aged spread, and it caught up with me, and I was really quite down about it. And anyway, so Emma's mum explained, I asked about the protocol, and she said, look, why don't you have a chat with Emma? So I had a chat with Emma, and then I also went on the website and looked it up. And I did mull over it for quite a while because I don't know, I felt defeated at that point, and I just thought, oh yeah, another magic serum, and like, I just didn't believe, to be fair. But then I had some. I have a regular checkup every year with the GP, and he just said, "Look, I'm a bit unhappy with your sugars and just your general inflammatory markers, and then my mum has diabetes, and lots of diabetes in the family, and I don't know. I just thought it was time, to really put the pedal down. I felt like I was at a crossroads. I'm turning 55 shortly, and yeah, it was either, a quick run to diabetes lane, or take a different turn. So I went in, a little unsure, but ready to put some faith in some science.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Pardon me. I've just had a sneezing fit before we got on the call too, so
Excellent. Yeah,
eyes are probably red. I probably look, I haven't
yeah.
sneezed, but I've just spent 5 minutes sneezing my butt off. So
Oh dear,
um,
that's no good.
yeah, and then so you mentioned something on the last call we had too about the how you thought after that first call about finding out about the protocol. What how's a call going to work every week? What are we going to talk about every week? And that
Well,
sort of.
yeah, initially I just thought, what on earth could I possibly need to talk about every week? And and I'm not, and even though I'm a chatty person, I'm not overly keen on having, you know, personal calls all the time about my body, or frankly anything really. Um, but it twofold. One, it kept me accountable, and two, obviously the support, because notwithstanding that your family's behind you and all of that, and they were and are, they're not in it. They're not in the trenches. You know what I mean? So I did, and I had questions that would arise during the week, or um, I remember one time I said, I'm really hungry this day. And, and it was important to work through that. And because I didn't realize the thinking behind it. And it was important to have someone to help you identify triggers and thinking patterns, and the emergence of excuses that take on an incredibly seductive, reasonable exterior, but they're just excuses.
They're
So
valid.
no, I did.
They seem like a really
Yeah,
good idea at the time.
yeah. And look, I think you do need that support. Otherwise, it's just another diet that you end up just failing, and no one knows you've done it. And
Mm,
so plus the knowledge that comes with it as well.
yeah.
That's important, that you would explain. Well, this is what the body's doing now, and these are why your supplements are important here, and different stages. So, yeah, the support is crucial.
Yeah. Great. So what did you find? What did you discover along the way about, how you worked with food in the past, and how the food works with your body and all that sort of thing? Anything that
Yeah.
surprised you that came up? And
Um, I've been one of those lucky people that up until about 45 years of age, I've never concerned myself with weight or food. I would just eat with reckless abandon and do my exercise and never gain an ounce.
mm,
And then obviously karma hit me, and and middle age and menopause, and it just steadily crept up. And I found that the rate of creeping up started to increase as well. I guess the drive to eat more sugar-based products increased, fatigue increased. So it wasn't always about weight. I just didn't feel well. I
mm,
didn't have the energy I used to have, and so having been on that merry-go-round, the relationship with food became problematic. I'd do 3 days really well, eat really well, but then I'd binge for 3 days. And I just couldn't find a balance that worked. So eventually you end up becoming quite afraid of food.
yeah,
And I love the stuff. And I love the stuff. So, and I'm a good cook, and I just couldn't find the right path to just,
it's really when
pardon?
you just said something then, which just it was really great, that I'd never thought of before, of being afraid of food, and the
Yeah,
whole merry-go-round that
yeah,
creates, because as
yeah.
you say, you still have those 2 or 3 days of binging, which you
Mm.
were afraid to do in the first place. So on the
Yeah.
back end of that, I'd imagine there'd be, frustration and guilt and,
Well,
disappointment.
yeah, you end up not trusting yourself again, and or if you had a social event coming up, it would dominate your mind. Like, how am I going to manage that? And and you'd set all these goals. Okay, well, I'll just have a drink, and I won't have the hors d'oeuvres. And you end up doing the whole works. Dessert, the bread, the drinks, the works, and not only would you physically feel a bit yucky after it, you just feel like, oh, okay, well, well, so my word is obviously just not worth the paper it's written on. So that was one thing, is my highlighting that um, the way that the relationship with food had changed in the last 10 years was surprising. And also just my efforts to try and manage that were quite exhausting, you know. And I've always been a fit person, and I couldn't exercise my way out of it.
Mm.
So uh, I needed to just really redefine that and see, well, what's actually better for me, um, rather than, well, I'm just going to do this and hope for the best, which is pretty much what I was doing.
Yeah. Especially coming from years and years of not having to worry about it.
No, never. I
Like,
was skinny as a rake for
my God,
decades.
what's happening? I can't seem to keep on top of this anymore, and it's getting worse.
No, I can't. No, I couldn't. And I could really relate to Emma's story, I mean, obviously I'm not an elite athlete like her, but having not ever had to concern herself, and then suddenly at a very young age, in her case, things have changed, and it's really frustrating because it dominates your daily thinking, and your confidence and your ability to manage what should be mostly a nice and pleasurable experience that's supposed to give you good health and vitality and
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah. So then how did you feel along the way? Like what's things showed up along the way? It was like, oh, that's, wow, I'm starting to feel this way, or oh, I'm not really
Yeah. Well, look, after the first couple of weeks were not surprising, considering it was relatively, quite a low carb start. I wasn't surprised by the fact that I didn't feel amazing initially. I was surprised at the amount of weight loss, the consistent weight loss. I just thought, oh yeah, it'll plateau out, but it just didn't. It just kept going. So that was quite heartening, and um, I also found too that you can be satisfied not only with less, but good quality less. Um, you know, I don't think I think I probably had maybe 2 days where I was genuinely hungry,
Mm.
in the whole 10 weeks. But most of the time, I think, okay, I'm not actually hungry. I'm probably just bored or a bit anxious about something, or, you know, yeah, but it wasn't actual hunger. And you helped me understand that, yeah, well, okay, the fact that you might have a hunger pang isn't the end of the world either. So um yeah, just redefining all those almost mottos that our society is built on. If you're hungry, you must fill it. If you have a plate full of food, you must finish it. There's a whole bunch of societal values that you grow up with that, well, I don't know who invented it, but they don't necessarily have to be followed, and the earth won't fall in because, you know, you don't finish all your food. And so there were a lot of different values that I didn't realize that I was quite tied to. Um, and yeah, and it's following the protocol and succeeding has been really good, because I just had no confidence left that I could.
Yeah.
I just didn't believe that I could do it. I really had come to the point of almost accepting you're going to stay at 70 kilos or maybe 72. You're going to have to go up in size in your clothes. You're going to develop diabetes. And, you almost get to the point of saying, well, that's my lot in life.
Yeah.
So, and all that stuff that people say for years, well, when you get to a certain age, it all spreads and there's nothing you can do. I started to believe that, but now I know that that's actually rubbish. It just, that's just, it is actually rubbish.
Well, we're
I'm
talking
not
about
saying,
this on the call, right? We were when I stopped you and said, "Hey, let's talk about this on the call," and so we can
yeah,
go over it.
yeah,
It's about those things that come up for people to have them,
yeah,
keep them from starting. And like you said, you do actually believe those things.
yeah, you do. And people, well-meaning people, your friends, your family, they support you in that. Oh, you look fine. You're only it's only a few kilos, and don't worry, you're 55. It doesn't matter. No one expects you to. but like I said, Trevor, it was never.
55, there's no one
I'm
looking at you anyway. It doesn't matter.
pretty much you're invisible, so give up. Yeah, look, it was never about the weight.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want to be at a goal weight and feel good, and and I'd have jokes with my friends about tight dresses and all that. I just didn't feel well,
Mm.
and I got to the point where I was struggling to stay awake at work. Like I was always feeling sleepy, and
You're pretty busy
you
at work.
know, beg your pardon?
You're pretty busy at work.
No, I am, but this is even before the current role I'm in. This is I had a desk job before, and I was just struggling with it, and my concentration was always off. My back was always sore, so it's very, having been a person who has been physically active. I've run half marathons, and I've always done exercise from when I was a kid. I just had nothing left
Mm.
to pursue anything. So that was really not how I wanted to live. And so obviously losing the weight's a nice collateral result. But it really was just about getting some energy and health back.
Yeah.
I wasn't sleeping properly. So there was a lot of stuff that were vague symptoms to a GP, but and he was actually very encouraging. Just I digress there, but he was very encouraging. I told him about this program, and he said, "No, you're right to do something, because the 50s are a crossroads, and many people just feel like that's going to happen, and that's, you've just got to accept it." But he said, "No, you can actually change things."
Mm.
So he was actually very accepting.
What is that dog doing?
I'm sorry. So no, look, I've been lucky. I've had the medical support, the family support, and even my parents, who, God bless them, they're non-English speaking Italians, and the thought of not eating bread and pasta is sacrilegious.
Mm.
But they understood, because I've had issues with uh, gluten and wheat based products for a long, long time.
Right.
And it's, so they said, no, it's a good thing. And Dad was great. He's a retired cook, and he used to do little special things for me when I visited. So I can't complain about the support.
Mm.
Um,
And how did
and
that go along the way? Like, that's a big issue for people as well, especially in
right,
ethnic backgrounds. I know my wife's family and stuff.
yeah.
People, when I lost weight in the restaurant, would say, "Oh, how did you lose the weight? I need to lose weight. What have I got to do?" And it's like, "Well, you got to stop eating rice." No, I'm out. It was just like a nut. That's not happening. That's person. We
Yeah,
are Asian. We eat rice. That's it. Game over. You know what I mean? So it's people
yeah, yeah,
struggle
yeah,
a lot, especially in the context of those families where they're like, "No,
yeah,
don't." And it's also, you've got to eat. You've got to eat. You've got to eat. You've got to eat.
yeah. Well, considering that my mum's side has a history of diabetes, and they're all very large people, and even though Dad's side isn't, there's definitely intolerances there,
Mm.
and they didn't balk at the idea. If anything, Mum was like fascinated, because she's bought into the whole thing of, well, I can't do anything.
Yeah.
And I said, you can. So, but I said, I can't just say, look, here's a meal plan. It's a whole
Yeah.
educational process as well. And
Well, it's exactly what we were just talking about the reasons why people, you know, convince
yeah,
themselves are real as to why they don't get started. There's one of them perfect.
no,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
that I'm too much past it, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'm not prepared to give up rice or whatever. The thing is, initially, it's only, you're not giving anything up.
Yeah.
You're just swapping it. And like last night, I had ravioli that I'd made,
Yeah.
and they were amazing, I might say. But it's a smaller portion that I would normally eat. And today I've just really pulled back on the carbs and just stuck with tuna and salad. Like, so it's not about missing out. You know, it is the balance and working with it, and I can eat that and pretty much anything I want without being concerned or feeling guilty or any of that, because it's integrated into the, you know, the 80% of the time when I'm eating rather healthily.
Yeah.
So I'm going away this weekend with my husband, and so for this week I've been, you know, for the next 3 days I'm going to be quite strict in terms of, you know, keeping it low carb and you know, staying within a certain calorie bracket, so that, you know, you're going away and just enjoying it. But that accountability wasn't there before.
Mm.
It really was what I would call a white knuckle approach,
Yeah.
where you're just hanging onto the edge of a cliff and hoping not to fall off.
And that trust in yourself, and like you said earlier on, it's like,
Yeah.
go and have that weekend away, sure. But then when you came back, you'd have all these
Yeah.
ideas about, all right, I've got to pull this back into line this week. And then 2 days later, you're in.
Yeah, and that's, but I don't see that. This is the thing. My personal view is, um, we have that sort of approach with all sorts of things, like, say, you know, your monetary budget. You know, I've gone and I splurged on a pair of boots, so therefore I'm going to just tighten up this week, or whatever. You know, at work you've spent too much time on that project, so you're going to have to tighten there. I don't see why food shouldn't be any different, because it's a privilege to eat, and it's wonderful. We live in a country where we literally, you know, have everything we want, but it's got to still be a respectful approach to it. And so I'm happy to eat really well, and I'm lucky that, you know, I can get my meat, my vegetables, my fish, whatever, and enjoy them as they are, knowing that they're nourishing my body. But if I want to have my cupcake or whatever, I will, but just not every day. It's
Yeah.
not necessary every day. Then it loses its impact if it's every day anyway.
Exactly right.
So, and I think, and I've been down that road 1,000 times, where I've literally just, you know, every night after dinner, you'd go and have your block of chocolate, your bit of ice cream, your packet of chips, your God knows what else, nuts, this and that, thinking to myself, oh, well, that's okay. I'll just fix it up tomorrow. But you don't. And then that tomorrow becomes a month and 2 months and 3 months. And that craving for sugar and carbs and whatever, just, it pulls you back in. It's it's quite the beast. And I can't say that it's I've eliminated it. It's just that it is someone you just have to keep an eye on. It's an unwelcome visitor, you know.
You know, when
He's
you
okay to visit for a short time, and then,
exactly right. When you have those
yeah,
days, like you say, when you know, go a bit nuts or whatever, that
yeah,
monster's still going to be there, because it's just the biochemical setup that
yeah,
creates.
yeah,
It's going to pull you back into wanting to do that.
yeah,
And
yeah,
who you are for yourself as someone that can trust yourself to act according to what you're committed to in your health.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
After building that along the process of the protocol, to then pull it back into line the next couple of days, so you haven't got to worry about it.
yeah,
And that really does become
and
nature. Like
yeah. Well, yeah, that's how I kind of feel right now, is that, you know, like everybody, you know, certain times of the year, like Christmas and Easter and all that, they're more of a prolonged celebration. So and even if you did everything exactly perfectly every day, you're still going to naturally gain a little bit of weight. But it's nice to be able to know, okay, look, I know how to arrest that, and it's not a I don't think it's a giant imposition.
Mm.
So I'm not having, you know, horrid green shakes 5 times a day, or eating just lettuce or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
But
it's
you get
very
once you get
doable.
into that, once you get into that groove, like you will, you know, you finish
Yeah,
phase 4, you're pretty much into that groove. And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a bit of practice, like when you first get your driving license. You know, you drive with people in the car,
yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah,
it's easy, and then all of a sudden you're on your own that first time and go, crap, there's no one else here with
yeah,
me. I've got to work this out myself. And then once
yeah,
you get
yeah,
to that, it really does become second nature, to the point where, as you're saying, with Christmases and things like that, yeah, sure, there's more opportunities to go, you know, into the great food and and
yeah.
stuff around there. But if you're reliable the following day to clean it,
Yes.
it still won't have the impact that you think it will. You might, I noticed myself for the last couple of months, I've had a few more of those days and thought, oh, I'm starting to feel puffy and I'm
Yeah,
starting to get sore in my joints and stuff.
yeah.
Up on the scales, no change.
No, there you go. Well,
Mm.
it's interesting. My son, who's not only the tech whiz, but also quite a fitness guru himself, he said he's noticed that he said you seem like you can eat relatively normally and have your little treats here and there, but he said, but you're no heavier. I said, no, I know. And I think it's, I mean, metabolically, I feel like the protocol has just kind of recalibrated everything so that you're out of that, it's almost like that rat wheel where you're chasing your tail constantly, and then your body's able to work with its natural abilities. So, and funnily enough, the whole family's lost weight. My husband's lost 8 kilos because he's been eating what I've been eating.
Yeah.
And he's been trying to lose that gut for years.
Wow.
So for years he's been trying to lose it, and he still has his, he has a beer every Saturday night, and he likes his chips in front of the football, and but for the other 5 days he's doing the right thing, and so he's getting back into suits he never thought he could.
Very cool.
And he's looking rather handsome actually. So yeah, no, it is. There is that flow on. It is. There is a flow on effect.
Yeah.
So particularly because I am the cook here, so they have to eat what I cook.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent. And was it you that was telling me about, was it someone in your family talking about you wearing bike pants or something? Was that you?
Yeah. My daughter, she said she can't remember because I've been dubbed the tracksuit queen. Tracksuits and tracksuits and 3/4 pants, baggy, usually several sizes bigger, and big jumpers and stuff. And the other day or other week, I went for a walk with my sister-in-law. We did the Bay Run where we live, and I wore some fancy exercise tights that I'd been sitting in my cupboard, still with the label on.
Wow.
And she was shocked. She said, "Wow, I've never seen you in those." And she said, "And you look hot," which was really nice. But yeah, yeah, because I never felt comfortable putting those on. It didn't
Amazing.
matter how many people told me, "No, you look fine, you look fine." I didn't feel fine. So the feel's more than just how you look. It's very much what's happening up here. And uh, now I do feel a lot finer. I mean, we've all got our little insecurities, but I do feel really good.
Yeah. A lot more freed up to just participate in life, really, without, as you say, that constant background of
Of course.
what's happening with food. What am I going to eat? Can I eat this much? What am I going to do about
Yeah.
it? And then also when you
Yeah.
ask people and you're worried about, how do I look in this? Is it baggy enough, as you say, with the tracksuit stuff and whatever?
Yeah.
Hiding the stuff I don't want people.
Yeah.
So much time and
Of
effort.
course.
You put that time and effort in
Yeah.
your health out, it's a done deal.
Yeah. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great
Yeah.
work. Thanks for being on the call with me. Really, it was a pleasure to coach you along the way. You took the coaching so well and eager to follow it, regardless of how you thought it might go, regardless of what you think about what I was saying, or if you think it'd be the right thing to do or not. You just took it on anyway, which was fantastic. And there's the
Well, let's put it this way, Trevor. My attempts hadn't done so well, so I thought it's time to hand over the wheel.
it works.
And so no, thank you very much.
No
Thank
worries.
you.
Dean said to pass on said he's very proud and very happy as well. And that's why we do what we do, because we're just, it just lights us up to see people have that result in life. So
Yeah.
and thanks for being on the call as well. Again, you've got a lot of stuff going on, and probably not something you really normally put your hand up to do. Which
No, I'm not one to enjoy photographs and stuff like that, but that's okay.
yeah, but
I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy to look at these biceps.
look
Check
at
those
those
out.
muscles.
Check them out.
Check out the
My
gun
gosh.
on leash.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm quite proud of those. No tuck shop arms here.
No bingo wings.
No. We just eat those. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Lise.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks for tuning in. Anything you want to find out, anything that resonates with you about that, please get in contact. Just do something. You sort your health out and just get started, and then those results can be the same as what Lisa's had here today. So thanks for joining in, and stay tuned for another episode of Chewing the Fat. Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.